Youth Development Week, Richard, a good opportunity for us all to find out a bit more about the brilliant things that are going on in the academy. First of all, why is it important to have such a week?
Yeah, it's really important. Youth Development Week. It's important for the football club, but the EAFL in general. It's good to have a real promotion of the younger players, of which we've got a lot of good young players coming through within the football club at every age, from 9 to 18 at the moment. It's a real positive time to be involved with the academy and to see what's coming through.
It's about really shining a light on all those positives you've just mentioned. What, for you, are the standouts at the moment, the headlines of those?
Yeah, we've got standouts within every single area of the academy at the moment. If you take the under-18s, they've had a real change in fortunes the second half of the season. We're doing really well. We've had two lads who've got a professional contract in there. Both have now been training with the first team. I think you'll probably be seeing a lot more of those coming forward. Potentially maybe even on the main pitch at the New York Stadium. From a 16s point of view, we've filled the scholarship program again for next season. We've decided to go for one less player this time. That's not because we didn't have good players, it's because of what's coming behind the 16s as well. And we don't want to block pathway. Our under 15s, Sam, as you know, are a very strong group. We're extremely excited about that group. We've already given 2 scholarships to under 15s in that, to Josh Thornton and to Bedry. And there'll be a lot more coming from that group. And then going into the younger age groups, there's not a weak side in the academy. We've got 6 or 7 lads in every age group that we're hoping in the years ahead will be again making their debuts at the New York Stadium.
I think we've spoken in a previous interview about you've been here for a little while and you've seen a bit of a sea change in how the academy's developed. What have been the key things behind that? Do you think what's changed the most?
Yeah, I think we took a decision towards the end of last season. We did a roots and branches, if you like, a look at the academy, what's really well, what could we potentially improve on. And I think if we're honest, we could have kept doing what we're doing and would be producing players. But we're looking at what we've got coming through and looking at where we want to go. We want people who are hungry for the football club. We want staff who are excited about being at Rotherham United and players where the badge means everything to them. So we took a decision to change everything in the academy. So the standard of the coaching, which has massively improved. We've gone for set terminologies to give continuity throughout the academy, and that's coming into the staff. And we're seeing the success already on the pitch.
And in terms of Rotherham United having an academy, it's a beacon of light, isn't it, for young lads in the area that they can go and try and make it in this town and make it with this football club.
Yeah, I think as a young player who likes football, and parents and grandparents, everyone wants to be a footballer. And I think the setup that we've got here, the support that I get, obviously from the first team and above a board level, is allowing us to do that. It's not cheap to run an academy. It's a real big investment, which is thankfully Tony Stewart puts an awful lot of money in for the academy for me, so we can try and get those players onto here. But I think the academy is becoming a shining light within the area, and long may that continue.
And you mentioned the chairman's been really good in his backing of the academy. The fans get involved with the Miller's May Day draw, which brings money in as well. But one thing it has been in recent years is pretty self-sufficient with the sale of a few players.
Yeah, we have sold a couple of players. We sold 2 players last season. We want the best player to come through and play for Rotherham United. But sometimes if the money's right and that's the best thing for the football club, so it can be reinvested and to push other areas on, which is what's happening, then obviously we'd always look at that as well.
And in terms of going back to the lads that have earned professional deals, it's 2, as you say already. How hard is it? How difficult is it to come through the ranks and kind of earn?
Yeah, it's tough. It's getting tougher throughout the country. There's good players obviously at every level. So for someone to come through now, they really do have to have that magic factor. If you look at the 2 lads who've come through, Josh Ayres, centre forward, I think he's a centre forward that Rotherham fans are going to like. Very hard working, big, strong, powerful boy, and he's scoring goals now at a really regular level. I think we've definitely scored around about 14, 15, I think, in the last 6 weeks. So we're starting to see what we know is there, and there's a lot more to come. And then Ben Hatton's the second one who's got it. I've mentioned Ben umpteen times, I think, to people. Ben's a player to get the fans excited. And I think when they do see Ben, they see the skill that he's got and what he can bring. I think people will be excited by Ben. And as I said, with other players now coming behind them, the next Ben, the next Josh, we've got those at every age group.
I think it might be a bit of an outdated attitude now to think that as soon as you've got a professional deal, players down tools and think they've kind of made it in inverted commas. But with Ben and Josh, you're still seeing a lot of them at the academy. Are they still knuckled down and carrying on as they were?
Yeah, I think what you're now seeing is it's more of an attitude of, well, I've got that now. I need to get into the first team. I need to get training with the first team. I need to be a success on loan. We're seeing that. We've had a couple of the first year pros, Joe Holby and Hamish Douglas in particular, have been training with us a little bit recently and playing for us. And their attitude's top class. They're not thinking, oh, I'm going back to play for the 18s. They're looking at it, well, it's another opportunity for me to try and prove when I need to be next.
Obviously, very difficult to break into the ranks, such as the quality you've got throughout the age groups. But your message to people in the area if they've got good talent, local talent,
Yeah,
they go along, can't they?
if anyone's got anybody they think's good, be it a school or a friend of a friend or a relation they've got, please send details in. We will always look at every player. If we've got a standout team like the 15s, it's not a standout team and that's full. It's a standout team, but there's always other players out there, and we'd never say no to any player.
And in terms of your scouting network, it's not vast, but you do have people out there watching local games. Is there any way that people can get in touch and say, look, we've got this player that you might
Yeah,
like
if anyone
looking
wants to get in touch, if they go onto our website, Scott Duncanson's our head of recruitment for the academy. All his details are on there. They can simply send an email in. Scott will pick up with them then for the details that we need, and we take it from there.
And in terms of all the positive things we've already discussed, how much are you looking forward to the future and the things that lie ahead?
Yeah, I think we're coming to a golden age of the academy. I've said this a lot of times this season to the board. We've been playing a lot of Cat 1 and Cat 2 teams as well this season, again at every age group, and we've got players in every single age group that would walk into their academies as well. So it's real positive. We now just keep pushing on and make sure our standards don't drop.
That has been the case, hasn't it? You've been to the likes of Everton, to my knowledge, other, like you say, Cat 1 and Premier League clubs.
Yeah, we've
really
been at Everton, we've been to Newcastle, we've been to Leicester, we've been to Forest, we've been to Man City. We're getting some good links with these clubs, and we're having players who are impressing in these games, which is really positive to see.
And finally, there's always a long-term plan for these things, which sometimes may seem ambitious, but kind of your view for 5 years' time, what would you like to see more of, at least in the academy?
I'd like to see in 5 years that we've got a lot more players in the first team. I think with what we have got and what's coming through, we should be looking at 5 years' time, and we've got quite a high number in that squad that have come through the ranks here.